Hello everyone, Douglas Waltz, Old Man Comic Book Reviews. We've got a stack! So, let's get to it, shall we? We'll start right off with issue 66 of Sonic the Hedgehog. Can you believe there's been 66 issues of this stuff? We have the end of two-parters, because they've been chopping it up. So the first part is Relic Robbing Rumble, part 2. Story is Ian Flynn. Pencils are Mauro Fonseca. Inks are Rick Mack. Dinner at Creams Part 2, story is Evan Stanley, art is Adam Bryce Thomas. So when we last left our Chaotix, I do believe, it was the Chaotix and Knuckles and the Babylon Rouge and the Babylon Rouge, sorry, the Babylon Rogues. So the Babylon Rogues are trying to steal something for the evil possum guy. And so we get a big, huge, giant fight scene, and Chaotix, of course, wins because they've got Knuckles with them. And then the possum tells the rogues that he doesn't even need the stuff. He was just trying to distract Chaotix, Team Chaotix, basically. So that was interesting. And then when we last left Cream, she was at home, and the bad guys from what the heck are the bad guys' name? I don't remember the bad guys' names. They're these idiots. So they're in the kitchen trying to steal stuff, and they step in the pot roast. And Gemerald the robot is trying to save Cream. And then Vanilla shows up, and she's the mom, and she gives the bad guys the mom stink eye. And then they all go get takeout because they're afraid to death that they're going to die if they make Cream's mom, whose name is Vanilla, do anything wrong. So good stuff, very, very good. Next up we have issue 3 of Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. That was terrible. Let's see, written by Wes Clark Jr. and Stephen E. D'Souza, art by Adriano Silva. And we've got bad guys trying to make their way into the jungle. Sheena shows up, but she's still at boarding school, so she has to make sure she gets to her classes on time. And the whole thing is starting to unravel. I did like when there was a fight in the library, they did this really cool thing where it's one big panel, but it's action. Things move across, people talk. I thought that was really well done. This is a great comic book. I've never had a problem with the Sheena comics at all. Next up we have the 3rd issue of Blue Beetle. The new Dawn of DC of Blue Beetle. And let me get this because they like to use the tiniest print. Josh Trujillo is our writer. Adrian Gutierrez is our artist. And Blue Beetle is making his way to the Oblivion Bar to find out more about this bad guy, the Scarlet something or other. And he's got a friend who teleports, and she works part-time in the bar. Starfire shows up to help out, although she doesn't really do much. Ted Kord's sister shows up. Also, not a lot going on there, but the Blood Scarab is the bad guy, and he has something to do with the Blue Beetle, and we don't know what. So, it's a good book. I still have this feeling of being thrown into it. And it feels chunkier than most comic books. I don't know if they're giving us more pages or what, but same price, so there you go. Excuse me. Oh yeah, it's just the cure for that little tickle. Hold on. We're saving this one for last. Sergio Aragonés Gru in the Wild, 4 of 4. Gru's just been trying to get something to eat. And people are ransacking the environment, and at the end he makes a wise choice, which you just don't expect from Gru. And then, of course, as we all know, the best part is Ruperto's comic on the back there. Alright. Dead Lucky, we now found out there's going to be 12 issues. They never told us before. We're on issue 10. We still... Gru. Sergio Aragonés, Mark Evanier. It's always going to be that. For these fellas, we have writer is still Melissa Flores. Artist is still French Carlo Mango, and we have our team out trying to, well, you know, beat the bad guys, be the winners, stop all these robots, and save the day at the same time. It's still a good book. I do like the things that they do at the end with little recipes. They also have a veterans hotline, crisis hotline on here for people with PTSD. They may have a recipe in here for wonton empanadas, pork or beef. They both sound delicious. All right. Dark Ride number 9. Hey, there's another number 9. All right. We have Joshua Williamson as our creator-writer. Andre Bresson is our creator-artist. And so the park. The Dark Ride park. But it's the kids. This is really more about the kids in this. We have Halloween, who is the pretty girl right there. And her brother, who has like a normal name. I can't remember his name. Give me 2 seconds. I'll see what I can do. There's a very big reveal in issue 9 that I was excited about. So, Sam. His name is Sam. There's a big reveal coming. I don't know how many issues of this we're getting. They're not telling us. This was just kind of cool. Funny, a little warped. Can't go wrong. They brought back one of my favorite comic books, Captain Ginger. That's right, anthropomorphic space cats. There are also anthropomorphic space dogs. And we learn more about the humans who created them and why, which was interesting. They call them the feeders because they feed them. So, Stuart Moore is our writer, June Brigham is pencils, Roy Richardson is inks. This was a series for a while ago that Ahoy Comics made, and they finally brought it back. That everything I've told you is all you need to know. You just want to jump right in. To be fair, though, this you would want to have read the previous Captain Ginger comics. They are in a trade paperback you can get from Ahoy Comics or your local comic shop if they can order that for you. But it's a lot of fun. They also put a story in, like a little tiny story. This is like part 9. I don't like this story, so I didn't bother to read it. Birds of Prey number 3. When last we left our Birds of Prey, King Shark was going to get them into Themyscira by way of riding inside of a megalodon. I don't recommend it. This is written by Kelly Thompson, art by Leonardo Romero, and so the plan is to get inside and grab the girl who is on Themyscira and save her. Black Canary, it's all she wants to do, and they have to distract Wonder Woman. They send Green Arrow in to distract Wonder Woman, which is never a great idea because he's always going to mess something up. And then you got what we refer to in the business, a really pissed off Wonder Woman. So, I love Birds of Prey. I didn't think Harley was going to work in. I thought they just kind of threw Harley in with it. But you get Big Barda, you get Black Canary. It's a great book. I like it. I really like the art style for that. Amazing Spider-Man number 37. Gang War is coming. There's a big crossover I'm very excited about called Gang War, if you hadn't heard. Let me get your people first. Zeb Wells is our writer. Ed McGuinness is our penciler. Emilio Lastio is our, it says interlude artist. Oh, the interlude. There is an interlude in this comic. Okay. And then Mark Farmer, Wade Vaughn, Graw Badger. What kind of name is that? Ed McGuinness are the inkers. And the drums of the natives that you hear are not Restless. It is Manny. And they only come out here and make any kind of noise if the camera's on. Otherwise, they are stone quiet. The whole day, nothing. The camera comes on. The earlier heard the crinkling, that was Flower. So anyways, we get Wreck Rap, the big guy from the last crossover. He's so much fun. And he tells a couple stories about what he's trying to solve this mystery. It's not a mystery. They're trying to send him back to Limbo. And he doesn't want to go back to Limbo. And it's a pretty silly story, to be honest. And it's setting us up for the gang war thing, so I think they were giving us a little bit of fun and light, as it were. So, yeah, good stuff. I really love Wreck Rap. I am waiting for an action figure. because I would totes get me a Rec Rap action figure in about 2 seconds. So, and Spider-Man might be in limbo, so we'll find out. So, Spider-Man, always a good book most of the time, unless they do something lazy. All right, last one. Marvel Unleashed. This is the Pets, and they are fighting Blackheart to try and stop hell from coming to the planet. Writer is Kyle Starks, artist is Jesus Hervas, and our team is Lockjaw from the Inhumans, Throg, the Frog of Thunder, Redwing from the Falcon, Pizza Dog, Goose the Flurkin. Oh, I think this is a different Flurkin because they keep calling him Chewy. And then there's Max, who is the ghost dog that hangs out with Stephen Strange. And finally we have D-Dog. So remember back in the day there was a guy named Demolition Man, or D-Man. Well, this lovely German Shepherd stray, she found his mask and decided that because she found it, she was going to be a superhero. So when last they left Blackheart, they needed to get Lockjaw to wake up to stop Blackheart from ruining everything. All of the people attack. Lockjaw does what he's supposed to do. Takes him to Black Bolt, who takes care of it. And then they have the ending. So we will talk for a moment about the ending. How dare you give me an ending like that? It's one of those, like in E.T., when E.T. dies, and you cry because E.T. dies, but then E.T. comes back to life and you cry harder. This is, without ruining it, has an ending a lot like this. D-Dog might be my new favorite animal character. I would like more D-Dog stuff. I would really like Unleashed to come back. This is a great book. I really thought this was a good book. But how dare you give me all the sobbing and whatnot. Not at all from me, but, you know. So, shame on you, Marvel. It's a great book. Go get it. It's too late. It's issue 4. Wait for the trade. So, and if you hear the crinkling, remember that's Flower. So, because she decided that there needed to be more noise in this particular episode. Don't worry. I'll let Flower get in my lap at the end. Relax. So, there's our books. Sophie Fiona. We went to Kids Empire. If you're not familiar, it's a big place with a big obstacle course and stuff. Kids running around screaming and yelling and doing fun stuff for the whole time. We were there for 3 hours. I have sore parts and I have managed to skin both of my elbows from going down a very large slide. Because I just skinned my elbows. I don't know. So it was a lot of fun. We did that. Then we went to McDonald's and had some delicious McDonald's stuff before we took them home to their parental units. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Before we get to this, one last thing. Martha and I went and saw The Marvels. Great movie. It was awesome. It was just like, it felt like a comic book. There was no big, giant, overreaching thing, and there was no origin story or anything. These people all have a based origin that we already are familiar with. They did a little flashbacky stuff to kind of keep you up to speed, and that's probably Stan Lee's fault. I mean, I know he's not here with us anymore, but his idea was when someone picks up a Marvel comic, always assume it's the first one they've ever read. Never assume they've read everything. They don't know all the lore. Give them a little bit of this to get them going. So it was a lot of fun. All three of the Marvel. They had Ms. Marvel, Monica Rambeau, who did not use the name Photon. They made that kind of a running gag. And Ms. Marvel, who I was never going to re-watch that show because the way they changed her power base. But I do like that they made it a pretty good concept. I gave them that. I wish they'd have kept the old power base, but what are you going to do? I'm not in charge. That would be Kevin Feige, I think is his name. So, anyways, lots of comic books, see? As I always tell you, you can go read comic books in so many places. I go to Fanfare Comics and Cards on Westnedge in their new location. We'll still call it new since the last place they were at for like 20 some odd years, so they've only been at this one months, not even year yet, so it's still a new location for me. I still get confused inside the store because the other one, after a while, I just have it memorized. This is where everything is. So the new one, you're still kind of fitting in. Although I do love that they have public bathrooms now. They've never had those. You always had to use the employee bathroom. It was all the way in the back. A little sketchy, but it was fun. So, yep, go there if you're in Kalamazoo. They'll give you the discount I mentioned, $5 a year. Get you 20% off all brand new books when you get them. If you don't live around here, find your comic book store. Find a quarter bin and look through the quarter bin or 50-cent bin or the dollar bin. If you have little comic conventions where it's just a lot of guys with a lot of long boxes and they let you look through their books, do that. Go online. You can read stuff there. Go to the library. You can read stuff there. There's so many places that you can read a comic book. So, until next week, I'll see you then. Go read a comic book. Oh, I forgot. Before we leave, our special guest. I almost forgot. Flower. Flower. Come here. Come on. Up. Oh. 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 Why are you making this difficult? Flower, stop. So, the crinkling plastic noise is because she thinks she deserves to be on camera all the time because she's so pretty. Look, she got ears. She's so pretty and she loves to look at the camera. Probably because my daughter's holding the camera, so she's like, what are you doing over there? Why are you pointing that at me? So anyways, this is Flower. Anytime you hear a noise, 90% of the time, it's going to be because she wanted to be on the camera. So, we're not going to try and hold the comic books again. So until next week, I'll see you. Read a comic book, Flower. Okay, goodbye. See you later. All right. All right, we'll see you next week.